grew up there can't afford to live it. And so when I was growing up, I was political without being political, in the sense that I was very angry about things.
Right.
Because, you know, like, you just felt like things were being done to you and no one was speaking to you, your family, your neighbours about how to actually involve you in shaping the place that you lived. And I got involved in quite a few like protests and organising, and then I had a lot of support, and people at the time said, oh, we've got primaries for election for the council. And I was like, what's a councillor? And then I put myself forward, and yeah, I had zero expectation and won, and I served 3 times as a councillor. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
well,
we must host you. We must host you in Hackney when you next come.
I love that. Simon's trying to get me to lock down some dates now. And coming back.
Have you ever met the mayor of London?
Yeah, I met. He did a television show that I was sitting in for a guy, because he wasn't my show, and we met and talked. He said that he knew a lot of what we were doing over here. He says he knows me.
I mean, you've inspired so many of us around. You know, like, that's the message I wanted to bring to you, which is, I know the work you do is like predominantly around sort of the US, and to give, you know, marginalized voices, you know, a sense of power and a sense of a voice. But also, you know, like, all of us in the UK and in London, we look to you to get our inspiration. And, you know, certainly for the mayor, we'd love to host you.
I will do it. I'd love to.
I mean, I think one of the things that, you know, it'd be good to, like, I guess, like, I would want this inspiration from you is, you know, you've been through, you know, you've seen it all, and you've been through much more worse than what we've seen in the UK. And as you're saying, I think all of the things that we thought we were advancing on, whether it's around gender equality, racial justice, you know, climate action, I think in the last few years, all of that is now going backwards, right? And for me, it's like one of the things that I've learned now thinking through this is, even when you're winning, you never take your foot off the pedal of the gas. And it's like, as you were saying, it's like, I'll be very keen to get your thoughts on, you know, what is the message we can take back to...
I think that if we study history, it's always one step forward, then they're going to push back. I think that part of the naivety that a lot of activists, elected or unelected, is they think that if we do this one piece of legislation or get this one thing through, that we won. No, you've had a temporary victory, but there's going to always be forces against you. So I think you have to set in your mind very young that this is going to be a lifetime struggle, and it's never going to be over. But history should record I was on the right side, and I did everything. I did my side, because history's ongoing. The example I use here a lot to people in my organization, to the young people, and is that for 246 years we were slaves, African American. Then we got the Emancipation Proclamation. Walk off the plantation. 246 years unpaid, against the law to read and write. Don't know where your family is because we're sold to different states. Somehow they put it together, and they started building their churches and their businesses and all. And by Lincoln starting the Reconstruction, 12 years Reconstruction, put 22 people in the Congress. But Lincoln gets killed. His vice president takes over, who was a racist. And they reversed all that. We went through 100 years of lynchings. By law, couldn't vote, by law, taking back everything we did. Then King comes along, advance again, then backlash again with rape. So it's always this going forward and backwards. History is defined by those that will fight when the wind is in their face, not to their back. Anybody's good when the wind is to your back. Your leadership is tested when the wind is facing you in the face. Can you keep running anyhow? And that's what separates the Gandhis and the Mandelas and the Kings from history, and those that had their moment in the sun, but we never hear from again because they couldn't take with the backlash. And like right now, a few years ago, we had a lot of young activists, George Floyd, all of that. And they faded because when the attacks came back, Trump got in, I'm going to live my life. I thought this was your life. And I think that you've got to make the commitment very early that I'm in this for the long run, because this is not a sprint, it's a marathon. And the reward is going to be history will say you were right. And but you're going to have to go through seasons. It's that, maybe God wanted it that way. It doesn't matter what religion we practice, that there's seasons. It's summer, spring, fall, winter. And to get to the summer, you got to go through winter. And a lot of us don't want to go through the winter.